let's look back in time. We know that in the past 5 years, you could say, probably a little bit longer, but especially in the past 5 years, being a cop is kind of frowned upon, right?
Sure,
Being a deputy
absolutely.
is pretty
It's
frowned
tough.
upon. Not many people like them, especially because of everything going on lately. Um, you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably live under a rock. But where I was going with that was, what's the biggest difference from when you first started 20 years ago in this field to like now?
So obviously the biggest thing that's been a change for us is,
Hmm.
I mean, technology. So
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, back in the day, not everyone had cell phone cameras, and the problem that I have is, I mean, listen, there's bad cops out there. I'm not going to say that every cop is perfect. I mean, there's
Hmm.
bad everything.
Oh yeah.
There's bad McDonald's workers. There's bad firefighters. There's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what industry you're in, construction, gym. I mean, whatever you're going to do, there's going to be somebody that's just not going to be good at their job. There's going to be horrible. They're going to give you bad customer service. But the problem that I have with, I guess, the technology, not really a problem, is that you may have a situation that's 30, 40, 50 minutes long, and you see a 20-second clip on YouTube. And that 20-second clip shows that cop doing something that
Mm.
maybe you don't understand.
People don't understand, yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're not in the field, I mean, you see 3 or 4 cops, on one guy, and it looks like they're beating the crap out of this guy, and you only see that 30-second clip. Well, what you didn't see was, the 20 minutes before, where this dude is high and he's tossing cops around, and he's,
Resisting, right.
yeah, I mean, we're trying to talk him down. He's being non-compliant. We're doing everything we can to not have to put hands on this guy. But he's got to go to jail. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, there's no way around it. And we do everything we can to talk him down and take him peacefully. And then when we do go hands on, now all of a sudden he's, like I said, on some sort of dope, or he's on something, and he's resisting. And it takes more than just, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, we don't fight one-on-one. I mean, that's not how we go home. I mean, I got a wife, I got kids I go home to every day.
At the end of the day, it's you or
Right.
the guy that's high on crack that doesn't care about anything else but his next snort of whatever it might be,
Absolutely.
right?
And that's what you see in that 30-second clip is, oh, those 4 cops just jumped on that guy and beat the crap out of him, and how dare they? So, I mean, that's been the biggest change. It's just
Okay.
people's mentality versus, I mean, because obviously with
Social
social
media.
media, absolutely, all that stuff's out there, and it's all getting out there, and like I said, people don't understand our tactics and the way we do
Yeah.
things.
Everyone
So,
out there thinks they're political experts and they
Sure.
feel like they're breaking the law.
Sure.
But
That
at
is a
the-
good point,
at
because
the end-
most
yeah.
most like breaking news articles are just like really
Mhm.
popular articles I've seen. Usually the person that was, I don't know how to say it, like
The
hit
victim?
by cops or the
Okay,
victim.
yeah.
Usually they're like a felon, or they have something on their record, or the situation
Someone
was
that should
just
probably be
all in their
jail
hands.
anyway,
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, there is bad cops that probably handle the situation not as well as they could have. Either they were trained
right.
wrong, or
Sure.
they just have bad mentalities. Some things happen. Some accidents happen that probably shouldn't have happened, because
Mhm.
they should probably be a little more aware of what they were doing, or understand the situation a little bit better. But I mean, that at the end of the day, cops aren't. They're not just like, they're human beings.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
mistakes are gonna happen. Just like you make just because you're you work at McDonald's and you forgot to take the cheese out of that cheeseburger, and that person came in there and yelled at you. Well, imagine if, another human being in a different career path, such as being a cop, made a mistake. Yes, they should probably be trained, but you should also be trained to make your cheeseburger too, all right? But
Mhm.
anyways, they should probably be trained to do the job as perfect as they can. But even when a mistake does go wrong, why are you just automatically blaming them?
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
Well, and what a lot of people don't understand is we're reactionary, so we're always a step behind.
Exactly.
It's
They're-
not like
They
all of a
make
sudden,
they make their decision, then
right,
you have to.
and then I have to react to it, and I have split second time sometimes to react to that. I mean,
Mm.
it's you hear about people getting killed or something. Oh, he pulled out a cell phone, or he pulled out his wallet. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but also it's
Exactly.
all the circumstances behind it. It's dark. It's the middle of the night. I've been giving him commands. I've been trying to get him to stop. He was running from me. He was in a vehicle pursuit, and I just chased him, 100 miles an hour for 5 miles, and then he jumps out of a car, and first thing he pulls out of his pocket is a cell phone. Well,
Mhm.
I don't know that's a cell phone. You know what I mean? And I'm
Exactly.
giving him commands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. And he's reaching in his pocket, and he pulls something out. Well, now I have a split second to react to. Okay, is that a gun? Is that a cell phone? What is it? And I mean, it's
If you wait a little too long,
sure. Now I'm
that's your
dead.
life.
Mhm.
You know what? That brings up a good question. So like how I was saying, like back 20 years ago versus now, would you have been a little more hesitant? Are you a little more hesitant now to make one of those split second decisions than you would have been 20 years ago? Especially because now, things going on, decisions you have to make based off like a case that might have happened a week ago? Because I know you've talked about this where, you know, things have happened and cops have gotten in trouble for maybe making the quote unquote wrong decision,
Sure.
and then the next week you almost have to make the exact same decision. Like, does that ever mess with maybe your instincts? Like, dang, if I draw my gun right now and something happens that I really don't want to happen, like, should I make the decision? Like,
So
does that
for
make
me,
sense?
I get it. It makes total sense. For me,
Yeah.
I've been in the business long enough where, I mean, I know how to do
Analyze
my
it.
job. I
Mhm.
know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm good at it. There's no hesitation for me. I mean, like I said, I don't want, like I said, once again, I don't want to say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot and been through a lot,
Mhm.
and there is no hesitation. I don't, social media or am I going to be on the Channel 3 news doesn't come into my mind when I'm doing my
Mhm.
job. But not only do I work for the sheriff's department, but I also teach at the college.
Mhm.
So I teach at the police academy, and I have seen where this new generation of cop, it's a little bit different for them because
That was
they've
gonna be
grown
my
up in
next
the social
question.
media world, and they've
Mhm.
grown up seeing all these cops on YouTube and Channel 3 News. So for them, I think it's a little bit, they're a little bit more hesitant to react to things. Absolutely.
Do you have any advice for this next generation of cops or
First responders,
first
anything,
responders
just
in
getting
general?
into the
Yeah.
seeing what they have to see and maybe making decisions, especially for being a cop, like making those decisions that they might be a
Mhm.
little hesitant to.
So I mean, it's the same advice I give my academy kids. It's fall back on your training. You know what I mean? Rely on your training that you get in the academy. Rely on the training you get at your department. You have to mentally prepare. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I always hear, like I said, I'm a big fanboy of the podcast, not just because it's Isaac, but I like to listen to it. It's good stuff. It's good content. I mean, mentally preparing every day, waking up, meditating, and getting yourself ready for the day.
Mhm.
Isaac's experienced it because obviously, I mean, he's just grown up with his dad being a cop. But like my work days are a lot different than my days off. So probably about 2 to 3 hours before I start work, like on my Monday, I go into what's called work mode. So a lot of things kind of gets blocked out. My attitude changes a little bit. My mentality changes a little bit because now I'm in work mode. I'm focusing on the fact that I got to go to work tonight. I got to be at a different level. I can't be down on the dad level. I can't be on the husband level or you know what I mean, the friend level. I'm working at a little bit higher of a level. There's a really great book. It's called God, I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now. It's by Dr. Gil Martin, Emotional Survivor for the Law Enforcement Family, and he talks about something called hypervigilance. And basically, what he's talking about is like right now, I've been on my days off, so I'm just kind of in normal me mode. I can have fun, joke, have a good time. When I'm at work tonight, I'll be up here. I have to work up here because this is, I mean, that's what gets me home. I have to be sharper. I have to be, you know, as a supervisor, I have guys that I have to worry about and make sure they get home and do my job and do their job. So I'm working at a higher level than where I'm normally at, and I'm in this state of called hypervigilance. So I'm way up here. Well, the thing is when I get off work, I don't go back to normal. I go below normal. So now normal's right here. I'm working up here. I come down to here, and I mean, maybe you've experienced a little bit, Juan, where you get home, you don't really want to deal with anything, you don't really want to make a lot of decisions, you're tired, you come off of a shift after working in the fire department, and you're just kind of just like, I mean, just maybe want to just kind of veg out a little bit. And it takes you and maybe not yet, but I mean, you're going to understand it when you start getting it. It's going to take you between 8 and 12 hours just to get back to normal. Well, the problem with that is, for me, is within 12 hours, I'm right back at work. So now I'm up here. So I have this roller coaster ride during my work week where I'm not on that normal plateau. I am either in that state of hypervigilance or I'm kind of down below and thankfully with the help of that book and just all the years of experience, I've started to realize it so I can kind of get back to a normal plateau a little bit sooner than maybe some younger cops can. And I mean, honestly, I was a 15-year cop before I realized. I always knew that. I used to call it my decompression time. I need to come home and unwind. I need to come home and unwind. And I don't want to deal with the homework and the kids. And I don't want to deal with the wife. I just, leave me alone, let me unwind. And I never understood it. So thanks to that book, it kind of really helped me understand why I do it and where I'm at.
That's
so
very cool. That's something that probably most people don't really realize. You know, they're just like, oh, that he goes out there and that's the job he's supposed to do, because that's his job. You know, that who cares about his home life? What they don't realize is that sometimes you experience so many crazy things and you just have to come home and act like nothing happened.